to define a little bit what is situational awareness. Now, situational awareness is the ability to change lenses. It's just like when you see this picture, you have to be able to focus on a small detail without losing the big picture. We as pilots, we need to be able to focus on a small detail and come back. We cannot do two things at the same time, so we need to shift lenses. So this is this ability. Now, how do you keep that? Interesting, because we have a situation, and the situation has a reality. Meaning, this reality is the truth. Whatever the plane is happening. Is the plane burning? Yes. Is the plane upside down? Yes. So if you maintain that, and then your perceived reality is in line with the reality of the situation, you have a safe outcome. Now the problem starts when you have these diversions, when your perceived reality differs from the reality of the situation. It can happen any time in the process, and you cannot simply take the shortcut and come back. You have to go back all the way to where it came and take it from there. We call these ones the points of diversion. So anytime there is a point of diversion, you have most probably an unfavorable outcome, either an incident or an accident. Now, situational awareness is not a commodity. You cannot say, give me please 30 tons of fuel and put 5 tons of situational awareness in the tank. Furthermore, you cannot say, push that push button, situational awareness on. That doesn't exist, by the way. I made it. I wish it would be that easy. Push situational awareness, give me situational awareness now. You can't. It's something you need to build. Something you need to carry with you. From home, you start thinking, where am I going today? Do I need to leave the house a little bit earlier? You have to plan ahead. Think about the Air France 447 captain. When he came back to the flight deck, he was trying desperately to perceive what was going on until the last minute. He could not simply say, now give me situational awareness. I think the situation would be different with his experience and knowing whatever took them to that situation, that the plane was on a stall. So these people, the stall was not perceived. We need to be able to then take this and project using mental simulation. So when you're on a flight, sitting, doing nothing, stuff that we do in flight, sometimes you have to start thinking ahead. And further, as you flew to Muscat, you will remember this is a little Muscat here. And you start thinking, I finish off with a visual approach there, you start thinking about terrain, the traffic ahead, you start determining what are the threats ahead of you. And once you have a threat, you identify them in your brain, you're able then to devise strategies to cope with the threat until you're landing. So mental simulation, project your flight into the future, into your alternate as well. It will take you into a safe path. All of this, however, is subconscious. We don't see it. None of this, we can see it. You cannot see a man thinking. You can see his face, his expression, but you cannot see the man thinking. So chess masters use that a lot. They come and they perceive the situation within seconds. So they look at the chessboard, and you can see here Carlson, he's just checking the board, but he may spend 15 minutes or longer confirming that position. Now, this intuition they have, this coup d'oeil, like Clausewitz used to say, that battlefield commander who comes at the battlefield and he looks at the situation and he knows where are the threats and what he has to do. That coup d'oeil is missing, and the chessboard player has that, the chess master. He confirms that because 95% of strong moves under blitz conditions, that means when these people are playing under time, they still perform 95%. They do perform strong moves in the board. Now, what does that tell us? That they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they will do once they look at the constellation of the pieces. This is subconscious. We don't see it. This is hidden. Now, whatever comes to the conscious is what we can express. It's not necessarily reflecting your mental process. It's only what comes to the surface. And if English is not your mother tongue, eventually whatever comes to the surface is what you can translate and tell your colleague in the flight deck. So this subconscious process that goes up in the surface and then becomes visible, it's very limited. So we have a lot of power, we have a lot of latent energy in our subconscious that is not being harvested. Gene Kranz, the man is an expert flight director, Mercury missions, Apollo missions, space shuttle missions. On the Apollo 13, when they had, I think, an oxygen tank blew up, there were the options about a direct abort, or you go around the moon and come back. He had a team of flight directors. He had analytical data. However, he took a decision here, and he says, all I had was that gut feeling that told me, look, don't go that way, that's the wrong way to go. Now, what is that? The man is just making a guess. No, what he had here is the gut feeling talking to you, your subconscious. And this is intuitive decision making.